Hello friends, you're the Lonesome Gamer, and today I'm gonna play Renegade by Richard Wilkins. And I interrupted my Empires of the Middle Ages playthrough, but I'm gonna come back to that to do this video series because it's kind of a special occasion. This Richard Wilkins is Ricky Royal, or his YouTube channel is called Box of Delights. And yeah, he's a YouTube fellow and he does excellent playthroughs. And well, we have contact for many years now. I mean, we're not friends or we don't know each other really, but he seems to be a very nice guy, and he makes great stuff, and he also seems to enjoy my things. So we wrote each other a couple of times, and yeah, seems to be a really great person. So it makes me really happy that he managed to release now his his board game, the board game that he designed by himself. And yeah, Renegade, here it is. It's a full co-op game. You can play it also solo, and it's set in a cyberpunk universe. So let's set it up. The game is set up, and as you can see, it's a very special style. The board is made of these different tiles here. They're together. I mean, they're not single hexes, but still you can make a lot of different maps that way. And I don't know if I've already mentioned it, but the game is a fully cooperative game. The story is that there are supercomputers that are somehow connected to the brains of the people to keep them happy, but also to keep them under control. And these guys here are so-called renegades. These are hackers which managed not to get connected, and their goal is now to basically shut off that supercomputer and to set free mankind. Overall we have, I think, 7 of these, and it's always 2 of the same color and 1 extra guy. And they have, of course, the background story here, and then they have also a special ability. For example, Oshin Noro. Oshin Noro is Oshin's good-looking renegade who messes with all sorts of hallucinogens, and as a booster gang member he's always riding a thin line between legal and illegal. The gang fighting is a distraction, but it has taught him how to manipulate people and broker a good deal. His weakness, if you can call that, is unwavering self-interest. Fighting for the renegades is just another net trip for Oshin. He thrives off the fight, not the cause. He's hacks to the max and is the team's heavy hitter, always looking to be at the center of the action. There are rumors he moonlights as a street samurai, and there's a fearful respect for the man they nicknamed the Artist. So he's kind of a fighter guy. He works, he has your avatar adds 2 to any infection scores at your partition at all times. And we have these little standees here. And this is the exit point, the access point here. Now, Hedy Magnetic. I absolutely love that name. Hedy is something of a poser, a trendsetter in techno culture. She's not trusted by her serious peers, who see her as frivolous and unpredictable, but Hedy is admired by the younger prospects. Despite her reputation for blowing things up just for the fun of it, any Renegade team is glad to have her along, as she is renowned for distracting sparks, while the rest of the team can get on with the serious business of taking down the server. Jacking in and tail chasing is Hedy's thrill. She's reckless, yes, but she can't afford to be. She has an unknown benefactor, an angel, looking out for her, adding to her air of mystery. So it says, once per player turn, your avatar counts as a replicant when you perform a modify action at your partition. And she starts here at the center of that yellow board. And finally we have here Monty Quantum. Monty is a man of few words, and he keeps to himself. He says he's a scientist, not a hacker, with a fondness for chaos theory. And he's regarded as a techno shaman by his peers. He doesn't see eye to eye with Oshinoro, who's a little too brash for Monty's liking. But don't let appearances fool you. Neural attacks are Monty's weapon of choice, and when armed with state-of-the-art wetware, he is ruthless. Jacked in via his direct neural interface, Monty is second to none at visualizing the grid and exploiting any icebreakers left by renegades. Says when at a neural hub or uplink, you may ghost your actions normally or via installation. When you ghost to a neural hub, it is as if you were on any partition on that server. Okay. In addition to that, each of these works as a player aid. We have here a key code which explains or which shows all the names of all the different symbols, and then here an actions list. And that is pretty important because otherwise this game can be really confusing, and at the beginning I'm afraid it will be. This is not an easy accessible game. It's not that the rules are bad or something. The problem is that the rules or that the game itself uses a lot of game terms that don't seem very logical in a way that they really are linked to the theme or what you're actually doing during the game. You will see that in time. And that makes it kind of hard to get into it. And I've seen already some pretty bad comments about that, and yeah, some really harsh reviews about the game because of that. But once you manage to fight through that barrier, it plays actually really smooth. There's also kind of a problem with the map here. I mean, it definitely looks super stylish, but these little markers here, you know, these circular markers, they kind of get lost if you look a little bit from afar on the map. I mean, not from too far actually. It's not that easy to see them. So because there's so much colors and black, you know, it's a little distracting. And yeah, so that is something you also have to get accustomed to, but that should be possible. Okay, so the game gives you a bunch of different scenarios, enemies, and these are these different computers. So we play now against Alpha Moby, that's the name of the computer, and this is the difficulty level, that's a 2, that's very easy. The simplest one is the introductory scenario, it's just a simulation, that's what it's called, and it only has a single skull, and it goes up to, I think, 5 skulls. So these are the starting conditions here. Place 1 spark. These are these black color, these black circles here. 1 spark on each partition on faith. Okay, so these different these 5 colored map tiles here, the 5 different ones, they are called servers. So we got 5 servers this computer consists of, and each hexagon is called a partition of a server. And each server has a specific name, and the pink one is called faith. Then it says also place 1 spark, and these sparks are these black circles, and they are so-called countermeasures, and countermeasures are basically our enemies. These are the things the computer uses to fight against us. Place 1 spark on each player's access point. So, like here on play on the partition number 6, we've placed a spark here. Then we have a specific rule change here, which is written in this lower part. During your start of turn step, add 1 spark to your avatar's partition. Okay. Then we have a deck of countermeasures. And that is built following these instructions here. So we have basically, no, that's bullshit, sorry. These instructions up here. So there are 3 stages of the game: copper, silver and gold. And in this case, in each case, we have to deal with a single countermeasure. And these are drawn from a deck of, well, there are maybe, I don't know, I think about 10 of every color, and so if you combine them, you always have kind of a different deck of these countermeasures. And we don't know yet what the silver countermeasure will be or what the golden countermeasure will be. We just can see the copper one, and that says, knowledge is the price of freedom. And our goal here is have 2 contaminants per player's color on this card. Procedure: when you purchase an advanced command card from the Hack Shack, you must also remove 1 contaminant of your color from the network and place it on this card. Okay, or you cannot purchase that card. I see. And you already see all these specific game terms which are a little tough here. So contaminants are also little circled markers. They come in 4 colors. We have yellow, we have red, and we have here blue and green. And we will use these to our advantage. So they are kind of what the countermeasures, they help the computer. We have the contaminants on our side. The Hack Shack is this row of cards. Now, and here the game is a little bit like Mage Knight. Every player starts with a base stack of his color. So this guy, for example, has a green base stack. So we see down here that indicates the color of the card, or the color of the deck. So all these cards in here have that little symbol here on the lower right. You can see here this is yellow, and each player has 15 cards in his base deck. So that also means you can, and that's the reason why they are on the back side, these other guys, you can always play only with a single player of that specific type, right? You can only play with one yellow player and one green player and so on, because they only have a single deck. And these are then the advanced action cards, and you can, as an action during a turn, you can go shopping, and you can simply exchange cards against this offer here, or in this game the game term is the Hack Shack. You can choose one of these 4 cards, and then, I mean, there are rules for that, right? But you can exchange them, and in this way you can improve your deck. Okay, so let's start now. The goal of the game is to fight through all these 3 countermeasures. If we manage to do that, we win. So every player starts with 5 of his 15 cards. And we have basically 3 turns to fulfill the first countermeasure, or to beat the first countermeasure. So basically every player can go once through his deck. 15 cards, 5, that's what he has now. If we're through the deck, then the so-called cycle is over, and then we're going to check if we manage to beat the countermeasure or not. We're going to flip it, and on the back side we then see the consequences. So we have basically 6 actions. I've already talked about these. The first action, the shopping thing here, that's how you can improve your deck. And there is another action called the installation action. We come to this a little later. And we have 4 actions which are connected to these 4 basic colors here: red, yellow, blue and green. We have a move action, which allows us to move from one space to another, or from one partition to another. We have basically something like a combat action. If there is a red marker on our space, and this marker is called a virus, then we are allowed to attack such a countermeasure token, in this case a spark, and we follow a combat procedure, and if we're doing well, we will destroy that spark token. Another action is called a modify action, and we need more of these yellow tokens, which are called replicants, than these countermeasure tokens here. And if you then do that action, you could change a countermeasure token in one of your own tokens, which is definitely also good. And finally, we have here these green tokens, and they help us during the so-called shift action. But I think they're not absolutely necessary to do a shift action. And a shift action simply allows you to push one of these countermeasure actions into an adjacent area. Okay, so that's just the very basic idea. And the countermeasures have a problem if they pile up on a single partition, so on a single space. Then they will combine to such a square token, which is more dangerous. And this is going to be placed here. We have 3 of these circular markers, of these disks, on the same partition. We're going to replace them by a square token here. And there should be then another one added at that partition. We're going to see an explosion there. That's what it's called. And then instead of that spark that we had before, that black token, we will see then 2 of these tokens, so the gray ones. They are on the back side of the black ones, and they are called flares. They are even more dangerous. Now we get into what happens at this specific point later, but just that you can see, it's maybe a little bit like Pandemic, so you want to try to really keep these markers, or the density of these markers, very low on the board, because otherwise it can get out of control. There can even be some kind of chain reactions or things like that. And if you are not able to place new markers here from this limited amount of markers, I mean they're all double-sided, then you will lose the game right away. Okay, now let's start. We start with this guy here and then go from left to right. And we have here our sequence of play. And during the intel phase, what we do is simply reread again the specific rules of that specific card, and also here of this I don't know what was it called? Damn, I forgot again. Of that card here, and just to remember that. Okay, then we come to the command phase, and we have the start of turn step. And here it says, during your start of turn step, add 1 spark to your avatar's partition. So that's what we do. We start with Osho, how is it called? Oshin. So we got to place 1 spark here. And then we come to the restock hack shack step. Okay, we got to skip that because nobody has already bought any cards from here. The new spark step is skipped during the first turn of the first player. Command action step. Okay, that's basically now the heart of the game. So now we can do these actions, and we got to use cards to do these actions. And these cards look fantastic. They have a fantastic artwork, as you can see here. Really impressive. Okay, so we have here the title of the card, which is just for the flavor, basically. The same with the picture, of course, and the important thing are the symbols here. And well, yeah, okay, I know. I mean, this is sometimes a little painful, you know. You got a great looking card and all, and in the end it's only about the symbols. And yes, usually I have problems with these kind of games if it's just about collecting symbols and so on. It's an abstract game, but okay, let's see. What can we do here? What is the goal? So the goal was basically to bring 2 contaminants per player's color on this card. Okay, so this guy has a red color. So the contaminants go on this card by purchasing better cards from here, and then as a price basically you have to pay 1 contaminant of your color that shares the partition with you. So basically we need simply first of all a contaminant of that color on that partition. So we can get contaminants on the partition of the avatar doing the upload action. And what that means is you simply play 3 symbols of the same color, and then you can place one of these discs of that color at that partition. However, you're never allowed to do this upload action if you share your partition with a countermeasure. So therefore we cannot do it on that specific space. So we got to try to get away from that space, it seems. We have a little of a problem here. We have a lot of these yellow cards and 1 red card, but for movement we need a blue card. But we have here also this pink symbol, which is called a leadership symbol. And that kind of works as a wild symbol, so we can choose which of the other 4 colors that symbol is supposed to be when we play that card. So I want to move out of the area. First of all, because I have to generate tokens, and I cannot do that on a card with countermeasures. Second of all, if I would remain there, then at the start of my next turn I'd have to add an additional spark at that partition, following these special rules for that computer. And then we had 3 sparks there, and that means we would have to replace these sparks with one of these square pieces, and that is called a guardian. This black guy here is called a guardian, and that one is called a firewall. So because we want to avoid that, we want to move away from there, and I'm going to play this card here, the memory steal, and I'm going to move with my guy, let's say simply from this partition to that partition. That costs me 1 movement point, and okay, now I can continue doing actions as long as I have cards on my hand. I'm allowed to keep 1 card to the next turn, so that I then can start the next turn with 6 cards. But I can only keep a single card. Okay, so what I want to do now is, by the way, ouch, I'm always allowed to discard 3 symbols of any color to basically exchange it into any other symbol. Okay, but that's of course not very effective. So what I want to do here now is I want to upload. That's the name of the action. I want to upload a yellow token. So I got to play 3 of these deception symbols. The interrupt and the diversion card. And then I can take one of these replicants and place them here on my partition. Fine. Okay. Yeah, now the problem is, what do I want to do now? Hard to say. I don't know. Maybe that was a stupid idea anyway. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, to be honest. So the problem is that this guy really does not have the right cards to do a real good action right now. I don't know what to do with that card, to be honest. I'm simply going to discard it and keep this card here for the next turn. So then we continue to the replenish hand step. That means now I'm allowed to draw 5 additional cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I have 6 cards because I kept 1, and that will hopefully give me some better options in the next turn. And well, then we come to the end of turn step. Nothing happens here, and now we start with the next player. We have again the start of turn step, so we got a place with this guy here, or with this lady, Heady Magnetic, a spark on the same place, and now I'm gonna hopefully find something to do with her. Well, as a matter of fact, she also doesn't have the best cards here. What I want to do is I want to try to work together with Oshin, Noro. I'm going to play 3 of these three of these blue symbols, the data steal and the decrypt, and then I can move 3 spaces from there. So 1, 2, 3. So now we share the same space, which might be good. And then I'm gonna upload a red contaminant token. These are called viruses. So I'm gonna bring a virus here into play. And maybe that helps. Now I could, let me see if I could. No, I can't. So I'm gonna keep this card for now. I'm going to draw 5 additional cards. And again, that wasn't too impressive here. Let's see what this guy can do. He also gets a spark on his space. Shit. And then I'm going to check his cards here. It's kind of interesting. Usually the players have a little bit more of their own color in their deck. But in all of these, in the starting hand, there were very, very little symbols of the own color. This guy doesn't have a single green one. This lady only had one yellow one. This guy only had one red one. So these are kind of a strange starting hand here. But okay, let's see what we can do anyway. Okay, not sure if this is a good tactic, but I'm also going to use my decrypt action here. And I'm going to move 2 spaces and join the other guys. And then I'm going to upload a virus and another replicant. Okay, as I said, not sure if this is a great idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we draw 5 cards, and that was then the first turn, or the first command phase for everyone. And now we come to the second command phase, and Oshin Noro starts again. We have to place a spark on that space here, and we got to do something against that, otherwise there would be 3 sparks by the end of the turn because we're all sitting there. So let's see what cards we have. Okay, they look kind of interesting now. Well, not that great, but okay. What I want to do is I'm going to now do an infection action. So I'm going to place a red card with a red marker, and then I'm going to fight that spark here. And the way that works is I simply count the number of viruses 2, and then I count the number of markers there are of these red tokens that I've played. I add that, so it's a 3. I could also play more cards and then add that also. So I'm at 3 now, and then I'm going to roll a die, that red die here. Okay, now that's not so great. That's a 4. And now this the sparks roll, or the computer rolls, and they have one of these spark tokens, and they add up their number, and then they also roll a die and add the result. The higher number wins. That's a 6. Now that kind of sucks, because that gives them a 7. So it seems like I've lost. The thing is now, because I'm Oshinoro, I could add 2 to my affection, but so my odds were really good here. I mean, 1 and 6. That's basically what the only option I had to roll to lose that battle. So what happens now is, I think because I've lost here, one of these viruses is simply removed. So that was really, really very, very unlucky here. And let me see. Is that what happens? I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Well, it has to be greater, but it's less or equal. So, and I forgot to check the consequences. Okay, so delete 1 virus token. Okay, yeah, so that sucked, but I'm gonna try again. I think that's really stupid. Yeah, well, I will. I'm gonna throw in another card. I mean, my odds are very good here. Okay, this time I made it. It's a 5 against a 4. So that means now that guy is deleted. Maybe I should have played it otherwise. But okay. Yeah, that wasn't too clever, actually. I could have modified that thing and in this way ended up with another token. But anyway. So I got now a bunch of cards left here. I think what I want to do is, it's a little risky, but I want to try to attack these two suckers here. So I'm going to play a movement action. And I'm going to move with this guy here. What I can do is I can take up to 3 of my 3 contaminant tokens of the same color with me. So I'm going to take that virus with me. And now I'm going to play the sabotage action. And this time I'm going to use this one as a red marker, so I'm going to play 2 red markers, +1 for the token, so that gives me a +3 modifier, +2 for my special ability, so I'm at +5. The others have a +2 modifier, so it's looking pretty good, but you never know. Yeah, that was definitely good. We have a 5 and a 5. So that means now these 2 suckers are destroyed. That is very good. In addition to that, I would now be allowed to exchange a card. And I think I might want to do that. I could, for example, get the adrenaline surge here. So I'm going to throw away my bypass action. And you can see here, to get the adrenaline surge, wait a minute, is that? Yeah. Yeah, that works fine. I get the adrenaline surge for a single green symbol. Okay, we got that here. Now, for the example, the reset spark, I would get for 3 red symbols. Okay, so what I do now is I simply discard or remove this card here from the game, and then I can simply grab this card and add it to my hand. So I can actually play the card I just purchased during this turn. In addition to that, and these are the special rules of that specific countermeasure card here, I have to place one of these tokens on that card. Okay, and then I think I'm going to use, well, that's kind of neat. I'm going to do an upload action, and I'm going to upload one of these uplinks. That's what the green markers are called. And it says here also, when this card is used as part of an upload action, you may upload 1 additional contaminant of that type to that partition. So let's do that. I'm going to discard these 2 cards. And oops, as a matter of fact, they should have gone in here. Oh, I might have messed this up earlier on. Ah, shit. Yeah, I did. Okay, of course every player has its own discard pile, and they don't go in here. That was a stupid idea. So, yeah, that means we are now allowed to place 2 uploads on that partition here. And, well, let's hope that will help us. So we come now to the next player. And first we got to place another spark in here. Okay, Hetty. Now what she wants to do is, she wants to do a modify action. And to do that, she has to play a yellow card, or a yellow symbol to trigger the event, basically. Then she has to play a card or a symbol into which type of contaminant the countermeasure token should be modified. And then you need more of these replicants than countermeasure tokens on that partition where you do that. So this is the case. We have 2 replicants. In addition, she counts also as a replicant. So we would have technically 3 replicants now here and only 1 spark. I'm going to play that card, which allows me then to simply exchange the spark for a replicant. What I can do now is I can do now an install action. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so I can do this by playing any type of command. So I guess I'm going to play that card here. Oh, by the way, we should have replenished here the hash stack. Maybe I want to actually play that card here. Oops. So yeah, I can play any kind of command. So I'm going to play the interrupt command. And again, I use that. And then I can replace 3 of these contaminant tokens with a installment. Now that installment is called a replicator, and from now on, if we share the space with a replicator, we can upload replicants simply by playing a single symbol. So we're going to play that symbol, and we can upload now a replicant here, and we don't have to play 3 markers of that type to do an upload action. So that is definitely very helpful. But you need 3 contaminant tokens of that specific color to do this. Okay, so I guess what I want to do now, let me see. Hard to tell. Excuse me. Okay, what I want to do now is I'm going to go shopping, and I'm going to pay for the project consciousness, and that costs me 1 green symbol, so I'm going to discard that. In addition, I got to pay now the replicant and place it here on the card, and then I end up with this card here. Fine. So what are we going to do now? Hard to tell. Well, I guess I'm not sure actually. I think I want to do another upload action and bring another virus into play. So I'm going to place that here, and then I'm going to keep that last card for my next turn. So then it's this guy here. And there will be also now again a new spark placed here. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I think I know what to do. Let me see. I'm not sure anyway. Shit. Okay, so I think first of all I want to move into this partition here and then simply buy a few cards, or at least 1 card. Yeah. Well, that kind of sucks. I'm not sure. I can't do it actually. Shit. I'm missing a blue. Well, here's the thing. What I could do is... Yeah, that's a better idea. I'm not going to use that one. But I'm going to use these 3 ones to generate a blue token. And then I'm going to move in here. And now that I'm sitting here, I'm going to use these 4 cards to get me this one here, the Microbionics. That's a pretty strong card with 3 of these wild symbols here. It's expensive. If I pay with more than a single card, so like in this case with 3 cards, I only have to remove 1 card from my deck, so that my deck always consists of 15 cards. Okay, and the others go simply in the... I'm not even sure, I don't think they go... No, they don't go in the discard pile. I just have to reveal them, I think, and I can keep these. So now I have again 3 cards. But you can only reveal a card once per turn, so I could not use these cards again to buy any new cards from the Hack Shack. So let's see what I want to do now. And of course I have to pay one of these markers and they end up here. So now I'm half through the objective here. Well, I just don't know what to do actually. Sadly, I cannot buy a second card. I might simply maybe generate... Yeah, I think I want to upload a new item here. I guess I'm gonna upload a virus and yeah, I don't know, man. We need another yellow marker, but that's gonna be easy. I think then in addition to that I'm gonna upload a data node, which are these blue markers, and they give you some advantage then when it comes to movement. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my last 5 cards from the stack here. There we are. And now it's again Oshinoro. Of course we have to place again, because it's the start of his turn, a marker there. Okay, let's see what we can do. I think I want to try to destroy this sucker right away. Huh, interesting. Or not. Hard to tell. Well, I think I will. So, yeah, I guess I will play this as a red token, as a destruction action or whatever this is called, and I'm gonna attack that this spark. So I got a +1 for the virus, +2 as a special ability, as a +3, and the black die only has a +1. And that is actually not good enough. It's a 5 to 2, so the black die has a 6. I have a 5, so that means, that sucks, man. That means that this symbol is now destroyed. That's not a good thing. So what I gotta do now, and that actually really sucks. I hope I can find something here. And I was lucky here, I forgot to replenish that. And I was lucky that I've drawn that because I have enough to pay for that. So what I can do now is I can move out of the area here into, well, let's say into that space. And then I'm gonna upload another virus. Remember, this is now my last command phase during this cycle. So I have to be successful. I have to bring a virus onto this countermeasure here. Otherwise I'm in trouble. And so, yeah, I can upload a virus here. And now with my last card, I'm able to purchase this Nidam ship. Costs me a blue card, so I gotta remove that from the game, and I end up now with this card, and I can also spend now that virus here, so I have now 2 markers here. Okay, so I still have this symbol now. That's kind of an interesting one. Instead, move from an open partition to any other open partition as a move action. Now, open partitions are the ones that somehow that are basically on the edge of the map, right? So all these ones here are open, and only these ones here, for example, they are closed partitions then. So I could use this thing to travel really far. Question is, do I want to do that? I don't really see a lot of use here. I don't know. Maybe I could bring myself a little bit in a better position or something. So I'm considering, yeah, I think I'm gonna play that thing and move here. So, or maybe even here. So I'm still close to my friends, but a little more in the center of the map. Not much, but a little bit. So yeah, I think I want to move there. Maybe I should have moved there right from the beginning, but I think this is not that important in this case. And I want to just get rid of the card because I cannot keep it, because after this turn the cycle will be over and the deck will be reshuffled. Okay, now it's Hetty, and there's a spark now on her space too, and she's allowed to draw the last 5 cards. Actually, I should have drawn the cards after my command phase of the last turn, but I think that's not so super important. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do a shift action here. Maybe even 2, because I got to get rid of these 2 sparks here if I want to upload replicants. So I'm going to use my focus action or command, and these are these 2 green symbols. They now allow me to shift some of these countermeasures to adjacent spaces. So I will move, or I will push one of these guys here, I guess, and another one here. So now my space is free of well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I could have also tried to attack these suckers. Maybe that would have been better. You know what? I think I want to try to do that. I think I want to try to do an attack there. So I have... I'm going to play these 2 cards here. Make these red. And that one is also red. So that means I got now 3 red symbols. That gives me a +3 during my roll. +1 for that one. And I need... Yeah, no, I think that's good. And these guys have a +2. So I have a +4, they have a +2. Let's hope for the best here. That's not good enough, I think. That's bad luck. They have a... That's shit. That sucks, man. So, in the end, the virus is destroyed. Fuck it. Okay, that's kind of a problem now. But, damn, we also have to place a new card here. So the thing is, we somehow have to... We need a yellow token, and this is gonna be hard, if not impossible. No, I think I can do it actually. Fuck, I don't know. This is gonna be very hard. Maybe I can do it, but I'm not sure about that. Well, yes, I can, of course I can. So this time I gotta use my focus action of my focus command, and now I'm gonna shift these two suckers here. So now I can upload this token. I was pretty unlucky here. So I wonder if I can upload 2 tokens with a single card, with a single command, but I don't think so. Okay, so it's actually pretty cool. I can actually upload more than 1 contaminant token with a single action. So I'm going to place my diversion. Because there is this replicator now here, I can place 2 replicants here. And then, and by the way, I have not mentioned that, there can be only up to 3 contaminant tokens of the same type at the same time on a single space. Now what I want to do, and it's a little sad I have to do that, but I think I'm gonna give away the data scan in exchange for the black market. I need a single wild symbol for that, and this one here, and then I have to remove that card. And I'm also allowed now to place a replicant here. Okay, so now we got these cards left, and what do I want to do with those? Hard to tell. I mean, I could generate maybe a virus or another replicator. Maybe that's a better idea. I might want to maybe I want to generate 2 more replicants here. What about this? Hard to tell. What do I want to do with that card? That sucks, man. There's basically nothing I can do with this card. That's painful. That's stupid as hell. What a waste. Yeah, well, I don't know what to do with that card. I'm sorry. I think I have to simply remove it. That sucks, but okay, that's all I'm going to do for now here. And then it's the last player turn during this cycle, and we got to generate 1 more uplink. Well, we don't even have to generate it, we simply have to buy basically a card because we already have an uplink marker there. So then we're gonna place another spark here, and let's see what we can do. I also want to try to attack these 2 sparks. Well, the odds are not that great, but they're not bad either. I got 3 red symbols here, so I'm gonna flip this one here. I just want to make sure that I have something. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so I got 3 of these red symbols here, and then I'm gonna try to attack these 2 sparks. So I basically have a +3, they got a +2. And again I fucked up. Oh, I couldn't do it because there was no... You need a virus on your card, and I didn't have that. So luckily I made that mistake. So I cannot do that action anyway. Let's see what we can do instead. I think I want to... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to do a focus action. And I'm going to push now 1 marker over here, so that can be modified in the next turn pretty easy, I'm sure about that. And the other one here, and I'm pretty optimistic that this guy can fight. That's not that simple though. No, I think I want to actually place it here, because there is no virus in here, so it's not going to be that easy for him to fight these markers. Okay, what can we do now? Well, I could generate a virus, for example. That might be helpful. Hard to tell. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Why not? I will upload a virus, place that here, and then I'm going to pay with the data steal card to grab here the data shift, which will improve my deck a little bit, and I have to pay for that with this token. And you can see now here we have 2 tokens of each player color, and we have finally this one here, and well, I'm gonna discard that. I don't know what to do with it. Okay, and this is then the end of this cycle. Every player has played 3 player command turns. So let's see what happens next. We come to the countermeasures phase. Now that is, first we see the virus battle segment. That means, and I think I fucked that up actually. I made a mistake here. I'm gonna push this guy over here. I think I will allow myself to do that simply because, I mean, it was just, I didn't have the rules in mind. If I push it here, then all these tokens will be destroyed during this segment now, so I will push it here where there is not that much damage going to happen. And yeah, so the virus battle segment, that means everywhere where there would be now viruses with any countermeasures, there would be a battle, so we would have to roll the dice, but we could not play cards to improve the odds of the viruses. But that's not going to happen in this case, because there is nowhere on the map we see a virus sharing a space with a countermeasure. Then we have the delete contaminants segment, and that's now the thing. If there would be now any space left where there are any countermeasures that share the space with a contaminant, then all the contaminants on that space would be destroyed. So it would have been extremely stupid to push the contaminant on that space right before the countermeasures phase. And then we come to the delete installation segment. I'm not absolutely sure when that would actually happen or what that would mean, but that's not happening at that point here, because that installation here is safe. There is no countermeasure here, so nothing would happen here. Then we come to the success or failure step, and Now we succeeded here, so we're gonna bring them back into the box here, and then we're gonna flip the card and check the result. And as you can see here, there's a success text and a fail text. So let's read that. Power up, people! The data encryption key is officially hacked, stacked, and packed. Place all contaminants from this card onto the network, distributed however you wish. That's pretty awesome. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so what I did is I placed now many of them on the same partition, simply with the goal to bring an installation of that specific type in the game, which will then help me later. We have here 2 replicants, so we might be able to place a replicator there, and here we might be able to place a neural hub, and here maybe a propagator, which is basically which would simply generate viruses for very little money. Well, actually, maybe I should place that propagator somewhere else. Maybe I should consider... hard to tell. I mean, on the other hand, why not? Let's place that here. I think that will be okay. Okay, so what happens now? Yeah, we come now to the next step. Well, we're still in this countermeasure phase thing. So then we come to the move sparks step. You can see that here. And that is now indicated here on the card, on this success or failure card here. So that indicates how the different sparks now move. So first we see on the blue server, but there is nothing moving there because there are no sparks there. Then we check the green server, this one here, and that will actually move. And it shows now the spark on the lowest partition, which is this one here, 3, moves up to the spark on the next higher partition. So this sucker moves simply now here to the 4. Then we see here on the red area, same thing happens. This one moves now here. And finally here on the pink server, the one on the highest partition moves to the one on the next lower partition, so that one here. So there is now a threat, for example, if this guy would move up, it would end up here, but right now this is not too dangerous, because that is not on the highest or lowest partition. But for example, if these guys from the highest partition would now move down, then both of them would end up here, and they would build then a guardian. Okay, so that was then the movement, and we're through the first countermeasure card. And because we were completely successful, we get a scoring token here, and we have copper, bronze or silver and golden scoring tokens. So we're going to place a scoring token there to indicate we were successful, and it gives us victory points at the end of the game. Okay, now we come to the refresh phase, and it says end of game step, where we check if we're still well, right now nothing is happening here. New deal step. Now we got to shuffle all the cards, and every player starts again with 5 cards. And the hack shack purge step. Well, I'm not actually sure what that means. I'm going to check it. Simply all the cards from the hack shack were discarded. Sorry for that. And yeah, we're gonna place 4 new cards then in the next turn. Okay. So yeah, we're at the end of this turn or cycle, and I think that's a very good time to load this up, and hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye!